You just started your business, or you just launched a new product, or you launched a new service, and there's a question that is troubling you. And the question is, what is the right pricing for this product or for this service? How do I fix the right price? If you'd like an answer to this question of how do you fix the right price, then tune into episode number 98 of Get Real with Rajiv. And apart from this question, I'm also going to be answering the question around how do you fix the right salary when you're hiring a team member? What are the parameters that you need to consider before fixing the salary for a person that you're hiring? I'm also going to be answering the question around, is it necessary to have a vision statement or a mission statement or a purpose defined for your business? Because nowadays, everybody is talking about having a vision, mission and purpose. So I'm going to answer the question around, is it really necessary? Is it really required? And finally, I'm also going to be answering the question around when is the right time to hire a person full-time in a particular role so that you can replace yourself. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to hiring, the timing is very important, because you don't want to end up getting sucked into that work and not do something that's more important. Neither do you want to hire unnecessarily and then think that that's a leakage as an expense for your business. So if you'd like answers to all these 4 questions, then tune into episode number 98 of Get Real with Rajiv. Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 98 of Get Real with Rajiv. Like every single week, I'm going to be answering 4 of your questions, and today Vineet is going to be the voice of your question. So Vineet, what's the first question?
The first question is from Deepak. His question is, nowadays everyone is talking about having a vision, mission and purpose in business. Is it mandatory to have one in business, and what is the impact of it?
Well, Deepak, is having a vision statement or a mission statement or having a purpose statement useful as a business? Absolutely it is. Why? Because when you have a vision, mission or purpose statement, it connects you to a larger goal. It connects you to your deeper reason or objective behind building your business. It aligns you to something that is beyond what you can see today. So it keeps you excited towards a larger future. Having said that, I believe that when you create a vision statement or a mission statement or a purpose statement, it needs to be something that is real for you. It needs to be something that's true for you. It cannot be something that you've done just because you attended a training program and they told you it's important to have a vision statement, mission statement, and then you create this flowery words which you put on your website which actually mean nothing to you. I feel it's about having something that is true to you. It's about having something that is real for you. And if it is not real for you and you've done it just as a checklist exercise in a training program, then I think that's meaningless. Now, if you don't have a vision, mission statement, does that make you lesser effective in your business? I don't think so. I mean, as long as you have a workable business model, as long as you have a product or service which is adding value to people and people are willing to spend money on it, and as long as you're being proactive in making sure that marketing is happening consistently in your business, sales is happening consistently in your business, operations is delivering value to people consistently, as long as you're doing the foundation, the basics right in your business, you are going to grow. The vision, mission adds a deeper purpose, it adds an emotional angle, it helps you connect deeper with yourself and what you really are up to. So it's a value addition. I wouldn't say it's an essential. So you don't have to have this FOMO, the fear of missing out, if you don't have a vision, mission statement. So summary, it needs to be real for you, Deepak. If it's not real for you, it's meaningless. If you don't have one, can you still build a successful business? Absolutely you can. So that's my take on it, Deepak. With that, let's go to the second question for this week. So Vineet, what's the second question?
The second question is from Dr. Veena. Can you guide me on how to decide on the pricing for my business? I'm not able to decide on how to fix price for my services.
Well, Dr. Veena, I see this as a common challenge when people start their business, where they have this uncertainty about how much is too much and how much is too less, and what's the right method of fixing my pricing. So let me give you a bunch of parameters to consider, both from the customer's point of view and both from your point of view as a business. I think from a business point of view, the most straightforward parameter to look at is whatever price you're charging for your service, it needs to give you good enough or healthy margins based on the volumes you are selling. Which means what? You can have low margins if you're selling high volumes, and if you're not selling high volumes, then you need to have decent enough margins to be able to make a healthy profit for yourself, because at the end of the day, the purpose of you doing what you're doing in business is to make enough profits so you have money in the bank for yourself. So I would say margins based on volumes is one parameter to consider as a business. Having said that, from the customer's point of view, you need to look at setting such a price where people are happy to pay that money for that service. And when are people happy to pay that money for that service is when they are getting way more value than the money you are charging them. If people are getting way more value than the money you are charging them, they are very happy to put their hand in their pocket and give you that money. And also what you need to consider is this: from a customer's point of view, they want to pay something which is fair, which means the pricing that you set for your services, it should be competitive enough. Based on the current market alternatives, the customer, when they check outside in the market, they shouldn't feel that your pricing is too high or too low. Both create suspicion. If you're too low in pricing in comparison to your competitors, then the customer starts perceiving that you're not somebody who delivers genuine value. And if you're too high, then the customer kind of disconnects with your product, with your brand, because they feel you are irrationally high priced. So your pricing has to be competitive. Your pricing has to be value driven. It has to give the customer way more value than the money you are charging. And the pricing has to be justified based on the track record and the experience and the credibility that you carry as a brand or as a professional in the market. So if you're just getting started, then having a low price is pretty justified. But if you've been somebody who's a seasoned player and you have a great track record, you have amazing credibility, then you can charge a premium, and people won't feel it to be unjustified because you have a track record that justifies your pricing. So I would say your brand value, credibility, track record, the competitiveness of your pricing, and the value you add to your customers, these three are factors you need to consider, and merge that with the factor of having decent margins based on the volumes you can sell. The combination of these four factors makes you come up with a number which is a right price. So my recommendation would be put down 3 or 4 options of pricing and evaluate it against these 4 parameters, and you see whichever pricing range fulfills most of these parameters, that is the right price for you to get started, Dr. Veena. I hope that answer adds value to you and gives you a perspective on how to go about this process of fixing your pricing. With that, let's go to the next question for this week. So Vineet, what's the third question?
The third question is from Amarnath. When I'm fixing the salary for a team member, I always have a dilemma whether I'm paying more or less. How to come out of this dilemma?
So today is the day of fixing pricing and fixing salaries for people. Well, Amarnath, when you are looking at fixing the pricing for a person that you're hiring, rule number 1, always pay them on par with the market standards or above the market standards, which means you need to consider the following factors and ask yourself, how much would the market pay such a person? You need to consider the factor of this person's experience. You need to consider the factor of this person's qualification. You need to consider the factor of this person's capability. Now, based on this person's experience, qualification, and capability, what would this person get paid in the market? Pay them that much or pay them a little above that, so that when they're coming to work, they're not thinking about the money, they're thinking about the work. That's the first thing that you need to keep in consideration. Second thing, while fixing a salary, also fix a performance benchmark. Now, this performance benchmark is something that at least you need to have clarity of in terms of what are you expecting this person to deliver when they join you, so that you are clear that that amount you're fixing is justified for the performance benchmark that you have in mind. And it's useful when this person joins you, you draw that performance benchmark so that it's a win-win equation. It's a win for them where they are being paid well, and it's a win for you that you are clear that this is the level of performance I expect from this person in that particular role while I'm paying them this much money. And the third thing for you to make sure that this system unfolds in a fair manner for you, is you need to have a review meeting system. You need to have a performance review system to evaluate the performance, whether this person is fulfilling the performance benchmark or whether they are falling short. And you need to give them that hand holding and support that is required, that mentoring and training that is required, so that they meet the performance benchmarks at least. And if they don't meet that performance benchmarks, then you know that it's not a win for you. So Amarnath, it's a process which is twofold. One is before you hire them, you determine a number based on their qualification, experience and capabilities. And after you hire them, you track the performance and you measure against a performance benchmark to make sure that you're paying somebody in a fair manner. I hope this answer gives you clarity, Amarnath. With that, let's go to the fourth and final question for this week's episode of Get Real with Rajiv. So Vineet, what's the fourth question?
The fourth question is from Ashwin Jain. How do we know when is the right time to hire a team member to replace us in a particular function?
Well, Ashwin, when you have enough work for a person to do in terms of a full-time job, then you know that's your first indicator that you need to hire somebody else. But from your point of view as a business owner, you also need to evaluate this. If your time is going in a particular activity, in execution of the activity, rather than strategy creation, goal creation and review of that activity, then you know it's time for you to hire an executive for that particular role. Because remember, you are not the doer. You need to play the role of management. You need to play the role of the creator of strategies, be the creator of the goals, be the creator of the plans, and be the person who's managing and reviewing the tasks. But instead of creating and managing, if you're ending up doing, that's a straight indicator in front of your face that is screaming at you and saying, hire somebody else, don't get stuck in doing it. Because think about it, as a business owner, your job is not execution, your job is creation. The other parameter to think about or to consider in terms of when you should hire a person full-time for a particular role is if that role is stealing your time and it is depriving you from doing something which is a higher value, strategic, growth driven activity. So as a business owner, you always have to be focused on growth and creation rather than execution. So if a particular activity is stealing your time in execution and it's stealing the opportunity of you focusing on something that is higher value, something that is strategic, something that is growth driven, that's another parameter which is screaming in front of you and saying, hire somebody for this. So Ashwin, I hope you found that useful. With that, we come to the end of episode number 98 of Get Real with Rajiv. If you found value in the answers to these questions, then make sure you continue the learning journey with me by clicking on the link mentioned below of my 4-hour training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar. Business Breakthrough Seminar is a 4-hour live training that I do where I help business owners figure out a step-by-step method of building a business which can grow without them. And here's why I believe if you are a business owner, you need to attend the Business Breakthrough Seminar, because if you are involved in everything in your business, then you are not playing the true role that you are supposed to be playing in your business. So at the Business Breakthrough Seminar, I break down for you what are those 3 focus areas for you to focus on so that you are not getting sucked into the day-to-day operations of your business and you are focusing on growth. So make sure you click on the link below and I look forward to seeing you in the Business Breakthrough Seminar.